This is On the Porch RVA.
I've had something on my mind for a while, and now's the time. Let's talk about the school system. Did you know that grading has changed to cover how poorly the kids are doing? The schools are fighting being graded. So legislation was introduced in the General Assembly that schools' air quality needed to be improved, and I quote, "Mandate a process to ensure all necessary repairs, leaks, and mold remediation are taken care of in a timely manner," close quote. But it failed to pass because it's too expensive to make sure every school is a meeting place that doesn't make kids sick. So in all possible types of school settings, there are two main variables: facilities and responsibility. I'm going to talk about both, but I'm going to touch on facilities first. So let me put it this way. Warehousing people is expensive. We are warehousing kids in the schools, and the facilities require upkeep. Now, most of the kids go home at night, but then they go right back to the warehouse to get in line for their government-curated content. Yes, that's how I feel about it. The Nazis had 24-hour free childcare toward the end of World War II because they wanted all the adults in the factories. Sounds efficient, doesn't it? Anyway, almost all of the schools need an overwhelming amount of remediation and repairs. My suggestion? Let's close them in rotation and get them fixed. Pull out all the studies already done that were set aside. Fix the school that needs least first. Target it. And then you can work out the bugs of the students' temporary arrangements. Draft churches and the PTA and civic associations to offer assistance and support to the families that prefer a different arrangement from COVID-style Zoom classes. Most of all, imagine how much of the funding, not imagine, we're going to examine. We need to drill right down to it. Find out how much of the funding for education services has been offered by the state while the city has neglected to claim it. Everybody knows. RVA's motto could plausibly be, "We leave money on the table." So, the next point. You say, what kind of student arrangements are you talking about? Well, the state has just passed a lot of legislation that I find interesting. For instance, if an organization opens up to kids and has facilities that meet state guidelines for childcare or schooling, they don't need to get a new zoning to have childcare or a microschool. Think about it. Microschool? Imagine a pod, but larger. Maybe 5 or 6 families sharing the cost of paying a couple of teachers and operating as a co-op. What's a pod? Imagine a 2-family group meeting in a home where the teacher comes in for classes and works with the parents or grandparents. Now, all of the classes have the internet as a major resource. Just like the current government schools, the non-government chartered school, and the traditional homeschooler. We use the internet for everything. Come on. Now, by responsibility, I mean, who is it that has the authority to choose a curriculum and be accountable for growing that child to a maturing, intelligent, inspired, creative, civically educated, motivated, and unique human with prospects for thriving and continuing growth? The original authority is, of course, the parent. Deciding which curriculum to use is part of it, but it includes what is the most effective for my child's learning patterns and temperament. What time frame is best for my family's schedule? Which of my tribe is ready to step into a teaching role with me and the professionals to stay strong and focused for my child's growth? Well, the child and parents are naturally and ideally the center of the equation. Currently, in the government school, the parent is the follower and the child is the product. It works like this. The Individualized Education program, also known as IEP, is offered as a prescription to parents who know their child is not the size that fits into the one-size-fits-all school program. Labels are important for many reasons. Basically, we feel like we can control something if we can label it. It's human nature. So anyway, IEP has individualized in the name, and what is offered is customizable to a degree. If we were talking about a jacket, it would be like choosing between buttons or zipper, but still being stuck with an incorrect size or poor materials. Now, the parent is often hesitant about whether to accept the IEP. IEP creates a profile for a child that gets them access to some things and blocked from others. And it often comes with stigma, the label of problematic. Occasionally the label is not applied to the child, but the parent. You know, the persistent parent that nags about inadequacies. Accepting the IEP bundle is like buying a program, suspecting you'll only use half of the products, but you can't buy them separately. So you are now plugged into a whole program you may regret, but you can't pass up the parts you need. The alternative is to reject the program and maybe stand alone. Think about it. You wonder if your crew can make time for your need. You wonder if your network of family or church can do the extra watching or teaching to support your need to be flexible and creative. If the IEP says that child cannot or will not be accepted into the classroom without being medicated, then that's that. Changes could be made to the current system that would empower the parents who are struggling to do the right thing for their kids. Kids are struggling against odds made harder by power-tripping control freaks. And I'm not talking about the parents or the individual teachers. So I know I risk losing you here, but I have an action item for you. Listen up. Virginia's Department of Education has drafted guidance on how to have cell phone-free school days. Think about it. Now, since July, they have had 9 public listening sessions with over 600 attendees, 11 additional stakeholder group conversations with community and faith leaders, parent organizations, school boards, superintendents, principals, school nurse associations, nearly 1,500 online comments, and a partridge in a pear tree. So they've created a draft that is now available for public review and feedback on the website through September 15. September 15. Then it will be finalized. Shortly after that, it will be given to every school division and local school board so that they can get their policies to meet the minimum guidance no later than January 1st, 2025. Pretty cool, huh? So, bottom line, each child is uniquely reachable and teachable. Let's live up to that. Even if you don't see it as a sacred trust, you know it's the honorable thing to do. So, that's it for me for now. Thank you for dropping by the porch. Y'all have a great day out there. I'll see you next time.
On the Porch RVA is produced and directed by John Hundley. Your host is Tracy Hundley. Join our community on Facebook and Instagram. Email us at tomatlh@outlook.com. Visit us at www.tomastudiosrva.com. Video of these episodes are on YouTube and Rumble. On the Porch is a 2024 T.O.M.A Studios production.